Hi, welcome to the Coffee Chat Show here on Buzzing Pattaya, the show where we talk about things that are happening right here, right now, as well as general news, tips, information and advice. Now, I've got a special guest with me today, Russ Williams. How you doing, my man?
Thanks, Trev.
I'll tell you what, don't judge a book by its cover, and I'll tell you what, we'll find out in a little bit more, because you're not just an average, everyday guy, you're a two-time world champion.
Three.
Oh, bloody hang on, I'm going to get out of the way. Okay, chins me one. 3 times, I beg your pardon, sir.
I was bantamweight, super bantamweight, and featherweight world
we're going to talk
kickboxing champion,
Well, we'll talk about that in a lot more detail later on. Obviously, you're from, where are you from? Wales?
North Wales,
whereabouts?
Yes. I live in Kerwis and I have a gym there in Kerwis. I also have a bigger gym in Wrexham Town Centre, which is like the biggest town in North Wales.
Gotcha, nice. So now, obviously I know you're here with us here in Pattaya, and you came out here to do some filming, am I correct?
That's right, yeah. My trainer, he used to have a gym in Manchester. I used to go to train with him there. I was the first person in Wales to do the sport.
Yeah.
And then after my fight career he moved to Las Vegas, opened a gym there, and then he came back to Thailand.
Nice.
So he's been teaching, his original Thai, and he's got a gym in Bangkok and one in Phetchaburi.
Brilliant. What's his name?
Master Toddy.
Master Toddy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you're watching Master Toddy, somebody come, what he come. You've trained him well. You've done all right. So obviously you've come over here. Now I'm guessing you've had a bit. Well, I'm not guessing. I know you've had a bit of a tough ride, haven't you? Because tell me about the quarantine.
Yeah. Well, what happened at first? I was talking to Master Todd, and he said that he was doing this fight series. He had an Australian film company coming over, and it was different fighters from around the world, and they were just getting together and finding out who was the best up-and-coming fighter cool. So that was the idea of it. And then I heard at that time I was only going to have to do 7 days quarantine because I've had the 2 doses, the 2 vaccination doses.
Don't say doses here. You probably don't want to be saying it that way. So you've had 2 vaccinations. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so I had the 2 vaccinations, so it was only 7 nights, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then the rates started coming up in Thailand and then they changed it to 15 nights, which I was gutted about. But then I heard the gyms had closed in Bangkok and the Phuket thing came up, and then so I thought, oh great, if I leave it till the 1st of July, do my 2 weeks quarantine in Phuket, and then go to Master Toddy's, isn't it? And but then Master Toddy says, oh no, we've had special permission from the government, we're carrying on, so get over here as soon as you can.
Oh, okay.
So I was a bit gutted about that, but and I was looking at all different hotels, and I didn't fancy coming over on an aeroplane, going 30-minute in a taxi and just going to a hotel in the centre of Bangkok.
You didn't fancy that?
No, not for 15 nights, isn't it? Just stuck in a hotel room.
You're stuck in a hotel room here, though, aren't you?
No.
Okay,
that was it. I really researched it, and I found with Trunk helped with the visa application and everything, and there was a C2 pool villa just outside Pattaya, and there was 2 reasons. One of the reasons, it was like an hour and a half journey there, so it was just so nice to see the Thai countryside and that on the way here. And then I had my own private swimming pool sort of thing,
so you had like a villa then?
Yeah, a villa,
look at you, eh, posh boy, eh? Look at you, eh?
But it wasn't, when you see you getting all your meals and that, naturally it was more than the hotels where you just got a small room, but it wasn't that expensive in comparison, because what it was like I say, I had my own pool, sort of small little garden with it as well, so you could go out and be in the sun and that, which
didn't get it very well, did you? Was it cloudy every day?
No, but you should have seen me when I come over.
If that's your tan, sunshine, I'll tell you what. So you were self-quarantined in this villa for 15 nights?
15 nights,
looking back, obviously you've done it now. how was it to occupy your mind? I mean, what kind of things were you doing?
Well, one of the things was, because I used to swim as a child, like, isn't it? Yeah, so I thought, oh, you know, can swim, no problem. I found out when I got in the pool that, you know, I wasn't that good, like.
Was it the bubbles going past you as you're on thinking, this ain't working out too good?
Yeah.
I mean, so whereabouts was the villa that you're in? Was it local to the city centre, or were you out?
No, just a bit out. It took about 30 minutes to come into town, like,
Okay.
you know, so it was out in the countryside and that. But what I liked as well, there was like hedges around the pool, and you know, I started feeding the birds, and it's getting all different birds coming in, and one day I seen a lizard coming in and butterflies, and you know, because
You really were bored then, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh look, there's a butterfly in the garden. Tick that box off. I mean, so you've done the quarantine. I guess the question has to be then. I mean, I know you came over here for creating this film and doing the stuff that you were doing. We're going to talk about that a lot more in part 2. In terms of the quarantine, I guess the question has to be, knowing what you are coming into now, having done the quarantine that you've obviously done, would you do it again off your own free will?
If it was 7 days, that would be all right. 15 nights is just that bit too much. Like, you know, like I say, 7 nights isn't too bad, you know, getting over the jet lag and stuff like that. But there was one thing that I made sure of on the with my place as well, was that it was good they had Netflix and YouTube and things like that, and that's where I saw you, like, and no, it was.
It worked.
Yeah, no, fair play. And you know, just all the little things that, you know, I hear from yourself about the 10 baht bus and things like that, and you know, just seeing all the different places in Pattaya. And I came over here, I think it was 2016, I only came for a few days and that, but being over here longer now, and you can see there's much more to it than just the beer gardens and that, like,
stuff,
there's much more around, and it's a beautiful, and it's nice, you know. I'm sorry about this, like, this latest lockdown, like, isn't it, you know, and it's
awful. Awful.
I was hoping to be travelling around a bit more, like, isn't it, you know, but it's just most of the places I'd like to have seen around Pattaya are closed now, like.
The question I want to ask you, Russ, is obviously you're in this villa, because I mean, a lot of people watching this show that have either done the quarantine or consider, a lot of people have done the hotel system where, you know, you get this menu and you've got to tick your meals off, and they put them outside the door, they walk away, you open the door, get it back in. How did that differ in the villa? Did you have like a better range of food available because you're cooking your own? I mean, could you just get groceries, or was it set meals?
They had sort of set meal sort of thing.
Oh, really?
You had a bit of a choice, but not a great choice.
Why couldn't they give you vegetables and fresh produce then if you're in a villa cooking it yourself?
What it was usually I paid extra to have a microwave there, like, you know, because what it is in the UK, I cook meals late at night and things like that, but they were bringing it in like 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then 5 o'clock, like, you know, so there was like too much of a gap. So you know, it's nice. I had a little fridge, just putting stuff in the fridge, and then you know, I could heat it up when I wanted, sort of thing. Like,
what's your favourite food?
Well, I'm a vegetarian. I am, like, I used to run a dairy farm when I was younger and that, like, and I always liked animals and that sort of thing, like, and it's just, I feel nowadays it's gone, not with dairy farming and that so much, but with the pig production, and it's just so cruel on the animals and that.
So,
like,
being out here, I mean, obviously Thailand's got a fantastic reputation of some of the most incredible food available, which it does, and I love Thai food. So what would be your go-to Thai dish, obviously being a vegetarian?
I'm not good with spicy foods and that, like, so I'm not very adventurous sort of thing, like, you know.
So can I ask you a question? Like, You don't really suntan, to be fair. You come over in quarantine. You don't like spicy food. What the hell are you doing here? Well, I know why you're here.
yeah.
So when you said about travelling, I mean, whereabouts did you plan to travel? And obviously, right now we know you can't. But where do you plan to travel?
Well, I was going to go to coast. I was hoping to go to either Phuket or Koh Samui, and maybe Chiang Mai, and that, because I started coming over to Thailand in 2015, and since then, you know, I used to use Bangkok as my base and then go around. I've been, you know, Udon Thani and all places like that, and you know, this is the thing about Thailand, it's so diverse. You know, you can go to like up to Chiang Mai, up to the mountains and places like that. It's so interesting and that to travel around.
Yeah, it's
like,
beautiful,
you know,
it's beautiful country.
Yeah. And the thing that, you know, that most is just the people. Just, you know, you're walking down the street, and what is, you know, you're getting them saying, oh, do you want a massage, do you want a taxi and everything like that, but they don't see the backside. If you say no and smile to them, whatever, and they'll just smile back. Like, they don't, you know, get angry with you or anything like that. Like, you know, it's that I like most about
when you're
it.
here. I mean, obviously with your history of martial arts and boxing, etc., and, you know, 3 times world champion, we're going to cover this in a lot more detail in part 2 about, you know, the training, what made you do what you did and how you did. But over here, I mean, you walk around like and see some of these, you know, like in the old beer complex days when they used to have these 2 Muay Thai fighters and then begin, I'll hit you, you hit me, I'll hit you. Do you ever look and think, come on guys, like, up the game, let's sort this out? I mean, do you ever, what do you think of that?
Yeah, sort of thing, like, yeah.
Actually getting in there saying, right, yeah. Because I'm guessing, I mean, because how tall are you?
5'4".
5'4". See,
yeah.
I did say the word tall.
Yes, thank you.
I said, how tall are you? So you're 5'4",
yeah.
3 times world champion, and I'm guessing like some of these Thai lads, especially like in some of the beer bar competitions, like when they're doing that Muay Thai. I mean, if you got in the ring, they'd probably think, "Oh, what's this idiot?" I mean, have you ever had a laugh with them and jumped in and had a go?
No. It was funny. I started off the sport, and I didn't go in it to be a fighter, and I went into it to learn to control emotions and things like that. And I wanted to be a teacher to help other people. Like, you know, that was what I went into it. So no, you know, I don't like the fighting and things like that. Like, you know, and especially, like I say, if I'm against someone taller, they're gonna win me on points, like, isn't it?
You know what I mean? I don't mean to laugh. I'm thinking, is there anyone smaller?
Well, no, there's quite a few Thais, like, isn't it? You know, that's the other thing about Thailand. You know, there's so many people my height or smaller, like, you know.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I must admit, like, one of the things that you know, I know from my own boxing is people don't realise that punching up is far more powerful than punching down. So you've got the legs, the leverage, you've got the motion.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. So you have got an advantage.
Yeah.
To get tapped by a swift uppercut, don't half hurt.
Yeah.
And
That's
that
right.
was at my level, and God knows what it must feel like at your level. I mean, what's your plans now? I mean, you're here, obviously, we're in the 4th lockdown, which is obviously horrendous, and hopefully we can get through this as quickly as possible. I mean, what are your plans now? Because obviously the filming's been put on hold. What's your plan?
Yeah, well, the film's crew's gone back to Australia, so that's all scrapped and that now. I'm hoping that they'll ease the lockdowns a bit, that I can travel to see my trainer, Master Toddy, and that in his gym in Phetchaburi, like, you know. But at the moment, we're not allowed to go there, are we? I don't think.
No, I believe inter-provincial travel is currently under restrictions. I mean, having said that, you know, I think if you are going to go there, you know, like with anybody watching this, you know, if you are considering travelling around the country, just inquire with the destination that you want to go to and just ask, you know, what are the requirements if I come from Pattaya and I come to this city? Because I know, like, if I go home to Korat, I've got a 14-day quarantine. There's no ifs about it. So, you know, but ask. Yeah. So right now, then, obviously the biggest kick in the teeth for you must be the fact that all the gyms are shut as well. So you can't even train, can you?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice here because I'm the only guest at the hotel, like, you know. So I've got my own private swimming pool here, like,
in your own villa quarantine. So now you're in this huge place, and you're quarantine kind of thing, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if things were back to normal, what would be your normal activity? I mean, what would you be doing?
Well, like you say, I'd like to go to the gyms, have a workout on the punch bags, just working out myself, something like that. But this is what I wanted to do, which I've done every time, is travel around Thailand more, you know. So that'll be one of the main downers. If you know, Pattaya is beautiful place, isn't it, you know, and you know, it's so nice just walking around down to the beach and places like that, and it's such a beautiful place. But you know, I'd want to travel a bit more, so that's the only thing I will be sort of a bit disappointed if I can't get anywhere else before I go back. I mean, in terms of traveling, how many times have you been to Thailand now? I don't know, about 15 times.
Oh, you've been 15?
Yeah,
so I thought it was a little bit. I was going to say
it's 10 of.
Obviously, you've seen it evolve 15 times. You've seen it changing like it's going through right now. And there are obviously the proposed changes moving ahead where they're saying certain things might happen, may not happen. I mean, it's all you know, what ifs. Will you come back?
Yeah. No problem. Like I say, if it was 7 days quarantine, then I wouldn't mind, you know, or even 4 days that you get the 2 tests, isn't it, you know. But 15 days is that bit too much. But no, I'll love it here, and that wouldn't put me off, because each time I come, I try and come for a month sort of thing, you know. So okay. I'm hoping to come back in December. One of the things that I'm worried about as well is that if Thailand keeps going up, that it'll might go into the red zone in the UK. So then I'd have to do 7 days quarantine in the Manchester, and that'll be just in the travel lodge. You're stuck in the travel lodge room for.
So do you want the good news or the bad news?
10 days. 10 days of it.
Well, I believe, and I might be wrong, but at the time of making this, I believe that we've now been pulled off the safe zones. So when you do go back, I believe, I might not be right on this, so don't hold me to this, but I believe you've got a quarantine when you go back, because we're a dark red zone, I believe.
Dark red now?
Yeah, I believe, but I might be wrong, so don't, you know, don't.
That's 10 days.
I feel terrible now. I mean, you've quarantined on your own. The highlight was a couple of butterflies flying past and the odd lizard. Now you're in this huge, big, beautiful place and you're on your own. Yeah. And everywhere's shut. Have a great day.
Yeah. No, that'll be the pain, that if I've got to do the 10 days quarantine. I don't mind doing it at home, isn't it? But 10 days in a little poxy travel lodge, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand that. All right, well, listen, we're coming to the end of part 1. It's been brilliant talking to you. And part 2, guys, listen, I want to, you know, Russ is going to share not how he just decided to go into the sport and learn self-defense, but he's excelled 3 times world champion. We've got the belts over there, which I'll show you in part 2. Before we finish up on part 1, I just want to ask you this question. People watching the show now that may or may not be considering coming here to do quarantine, what would your advice be, having been through it?
Well, it's as you say, you can't, because the rules and that can change that much, isn't it? You know, you might book something and then it goes you know. But like I say, with myself, if it was just 7 days quarantine, then you know, I'll probably, because I've got good lads looking after my gyms now, so I'm probably looking at coming back here December, and hopefully, you know, I won't have to do the 14 days.
Well, I mean, in
then.
terms of the quarantine you've been through, was there anything you didn't bring with you? Thought, God, I wish I brought that with me, or I could have done with this. I mean, was there anything that you felt you were lacking that people watching might think, well, I'd have forgot that as well?
It's just because I've been over here so many times, and what it was in the quarantine hotel, they were saying they give you these plastic plates and everything like that. So I brought all my own cutlery over and everything like that. So that.
How did you get through the airport with that? You must have been clanking, or did they see your belts and say, "It's all right, you carry on, son"? Well, Russ, this has been fantastic to me. Thank you very much indeed.
No problem at all.
I want to talk to you a lot more in detail in part 2, because obviously we're going to go through the fact that, you know, you were bullied as a young lad. You've then taken matters into your own hands. You've then trained, and not only trained, but you've excelled at it to 3 world championships, which is, you know, incredible. Fair play to you, and total respect for that. And then we're going to talk about, you know, how people watching, if you feel like becoming into kickboxing and Muay Thai and stuff like that, you know, Russ is going to share his experience with you and talk a lot more about his life back home and here. Been a pleasure, sir.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. I like that suntan. Look at that suntan. He makes me feel like I'm from Jamaica. All right, guys, that's it from us today here on the Coffee Chat Show. Thank you very much for watching. Please, as always, remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. Guys, have a look at our members area. There's more and more members joining each and every day. There's loads of people there. Check it out. There's a link in the description below. And join our Discord group. Over 2,600 people just like you with a love of this wonderful city that we're currently sat here. And they're all chatting away. There's photos, videos, you name it. It's all there. There's a link down below. Go check it out. All right, guys, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. And please, as always, stay safe.